What is up, my loves? Welcome back to another episode of the Fully Alive podcast. My name is Stephanie Osborne. I am your host today, and this is the space where we dive into all things revolutionizing life purpose. You might have heard the term thrown around a few different times. It can feel very fluffy at times. And really, this is the space where we demystify it. We understand what your life's purpose is, and then how you can actually get paid for that purpose so that you can create a life that makes you feel fully alive from the inside out, where every single day you know that you're creating the impact that you desire to have in this lifetime. This space is especially for those of you who know that you're here for more than just checking the boxes of life. Maybe you've been sold this idea of quote unquote societal excess, where you climb the ladder, you get the job, you get the house, and you live happily ever after. But there's this fire in your soul that knows that you were made for more than that, that knows that there's a purpose so much bigger than any cookie cutter path, and you're here to really activate it and then get paid for it. That's what we get into in this podcast. We dive into all things impact-driven entrepreneurship, activating your soul's purpose, high performer mindset, and ultimately creating that life that makes you feel like, yes, this is what life's actually about. I'm doing it and I'm living at my highest potential. I am so beyond excited to have you here in this space. If you are new, welcome to the party. Welcome to the fam, the Fully Alive Movement, FAM. If you are returning, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you here. I love you. Thank you for showing up over and over for yourself and really for your own purpose in this world, and also to this space. I love getting to have this connection with you. And today we are getting into a juicy topic. Aren't they all juicy? But this one especially, y'all, I'm digging into a topic that I feel like has been a long time coming, because some of my most viral TikTok videos, and really the videos that kind of like grew my account a whole bunch, are all about this specific topic. So I know there's a hankering for it. Y'all ask me about it all the time. It's woven through every single thing that I do. Now we're getting into it on the podcast, which is how to be the most magnetic person in the room, baby. Not only that, but how to use that magnetism to then network your brand and to create connections, not through forcing a connection, handing out your business card to all these people around you, which is beautiful if that's your jam. It's just not mine. But how to use that magnetism to create a presence where you walk into the room, people's heads turn and they say, who is that? Doesn't matter what you're wearing. It doesn't matter what you look like, but you have this presence about you where people say, I don't know what you're on, but I need some of it. How do we work together? That sort of connection. I'm going to be breaking down one of the key shifts that creates this sort of energy so that you can really start honing it and therefore network your brand seamlessly with ease and fun and play, rather than having to be super, super stuffy and serious and rely on having the perfect thing to say or presenting yourself in this super, super professional way all of the freaking time. We're going to be breaking all of the rules and really cutting straight to the heart of what do you need to have that magnetic presence and to be able to network with ease. All the time I have clients come to me who say, Steph, I know that I have an incredible skill set. I know I'm good at what I do, but for some reason, when I go into a networking event or when I have the possibility to start talking about my services to someone, I freeze up. Something happens. My energy isn't fully there. And typically it's because there's a slight disconnect that I'm going to reveal to you in this podcast episode. So if you are someone who wants to walk out into the world and just have opportunities drop in, boom, 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 all around you, you want to create those connections where you're talking with someone at dinner and they start to see your genius appear. And you have that energy about you that is so absolutely magnetic that they're like, I don't know what this, I feel like there's something here for us. Let's set up a meeting. Let's get into this even deeper. And you create those connections, which bring clients into your world, which build your brand and also create income so that you can get paid for your beautiful purpose. If you want that, you're going to want to listen to this podcast episode. I reveal to you exactly the shifts that I use to literally create these experiences regularly, because I'm not going to lie. The number one comment I typically get is, Steph, I love your energy. I don't know what it is about you, but I know that we need to work together. That's typically how my clients find me. So I'm just going to be breaking it down in this podcast episode. I cannot wait to share with you more. And let's just get into it, shall we? All right. So first things first, we're going to break down Magnetism 101. What is it? How do we use it? I'm going to give you guys the quick and dirty version because honestly, we could be here for hours going down a rabbit hole on everything magnetism, but let's just get on the same page. So the reason why I use a term like magnetism versus manifesting, some of you guys might resonate with this, and it can be something that you take forward. What I noticed with manifesting, especially with the mainstream narrative and how much the term is being thrown around, is that I noticed a lot of the messaging was around outcomes and very much was focused on what you are getting out of it, right? So I'm going to put this car on my vision board and then I'm going to get the car. I'm going to put this wad of cash on my vision board and say I'm a millionaire every single day, and then I'm going to get the money. I'm going to get the clients. I'm going to get the opportunities. I'm going to get them in my life. And for those of you who are high performers and you might have a little bit of an intense mind, like I happen to have, it's very easy for your mind to come in, hijack the entire thing, and then strangle that outcome saying, oh my God, where's the outcome? Is it happening? Why isn't it happening? And then you forget about yourself in the process, and you forget that you are literally the one who's manifesting all of this. You are the magnet. And so on top of that, some of the languaging can seem like manifesting is a passive process where you are saying the affirmations, you're putting the things on your vision board, and then they're just going to drop out of thin air. They're just going to happen in your life, and bada bing, bada boom, that's it. However, if you don't shift how you're doing things and you just say the affirmations and you're not shifting your actions and you're not actually shifting your energetic set point or believing your affirmations at all, ain't nothing gonna happen, because in reality, you are the magnet that attracts everything in your life. And so when I started hearing the term magnetism and using that word, I started to realize, holy shoot, I am an active key player in all of this. And it's not about getting the specific outcome, but about shifting my own energetic set point such that the opportunities, the client, the experiences cannot help but find me. Of course, they're going to drop into my life. Of course, they're going to happen like bam, 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 all over me, because I am the magnet. You become the active role because you are the magnet. And it's about creating this state of magnetism such that you feel good in your life. You get to have fun. You get to be playful. I call it like the little sparkle with my clients. It's like when you're feeling sparkly, you know you're having a good day. That's the beauty of magnetism. And also, my brain immediately goes to, what's the science? How does it work? How do I understand this? And magnetism, the crazy part is that our human bodies actually have a magnetic field around them. And so all living organisms have a magnetic field. A frog has a magnetic field. A blade of grass has a magnetic field. And as humans, we also have magnetic fields, which is so freaking cool, right? So our strongest magnetic field is from our heart. It comes from our heart all the way up and out of our head, all the way around our bodies, and back up through our heart. And so if you're looking for the key to be magnetic, very, very, very simply put, live from your heart. Be in your heart. Have a clear focus. Do not have split energy. Have clear direction. And you are absolutely magnetic. If we want to get even more specific about it, we can use this beautiful electromagnetic field around us to draw in different opportunities. If any of y'all follow Joe Dispenza, he says that we need two things: an elevated emotion and a clear intention in order to become an energetic match for the things that you desire to call into your life, right? So when we're clearly focused on exactly what you want, and then we're also matching it with an elevated emotion, amazing, then you're drawing it in. How I like to break it down personally to just make it a little bit more broad and not necessarily focus on a specific outcome in this instance. I love you drawing in specific things in your life and getting crystal clear. It is something I do in my work. However, for this instance, we're talking about magnetism in general as a human being, right? So what we need is an open heart, actually existing from this beautiful thing in your chest, existing from fun, from play, from excitement, joy, confidence, an open heart, and a clear purpose, a clear direction, and a belief in yourself. When you have that clarity, there's no possibility for your split energy. You walk into a room and people turn their head. They say, who is that? That is a woman who is absolutely decisive. She has direction. And of course, you know that it is always ever changing. However, you cannot be swayed because you don't know yourself. You know exactly who you are. You have a clear direction in that. And it is absolutely magnetic. And that, for me, is how I like to network. And of course, you can apply that to an actual networking event where you walk in and you know who the fuck you are and you have fun and you know you're going to meet the right people. But I'm not going to teach you how to force a connection. That's not it. I'm going to teach you how to walk in the room and have the energy where people look at you and they say, who is that? And I feel like there's something that you have for me. I feel like there's something in this connection. They walk away from that conversation, they remember you, right? And the biggest mistake that I typically see, especially when high performers, when it comes to potentially talk about what you do or you see a little gap for someone and you're like, that's like exactly what I do. I could totally talk about what I do here, but like I don't want to make it weird. All of a sudden, it becomes super serious and you feel like you have to say the right thing for them to see your value. And so all of a sudden, all the play, all the fun, all the excitement, where is it? It's gone. You become this stuffy person. You move from your heart into your head. No wonder you feel drained going to these events, because you are presenting a facade. You're not actually presenting yourself. What we need for magnetism is an open heart, is truth, is authenticity, is fun, is your playfulness. And so many people are so afraid to bring their playfulness when it comes about talking about what it is that they do, and their fun when it comes to being in these rooms with other leaders, because they're afraid of not being taken seriously. But if you know who you are and the specific X factor that you bring into this world, there's no possible way that they cannot take you seriously, because you take yourself seriously. And therefore, there's all of this energy that is freed up to just be you in the moment, because you know who the fuck you are. You're not proving to anyone. You know you're a genius. That energy can be felt. It can be absolutely freaking felt. One of my favorite stories, and honestly, one of the most pivotal moments in my own leadership that really kickstarted a lot of how I present myself in the world, and a lot of just who I am and what sides I allow to be seen, which is hopefully all of them, but especially when it comes to leadership and the professional world, is I remember early on in my career when I thought I was going down a corporate path, I went to this networking event with a friend, and there were these speed dating questions, like group speed dating questions. And one of the questions was, describe the person next to you. And my friend was next to me and she goes to describe me. And she's like, well, she's goofy. She is super fun, bubbly, charismatic, high emotional intelligence. And she's actually really smart. And I go, actually? What do you mean? Actually? Of course I'm really smart. And I remember in that moment just dying laughing. And there was part of me that was like, actually, what do you mean? There's also such a huge part of me that was like, I fucking love that. I love that so much. I love that I don't always come across as like, oh my gosh, and she's super intelligent and she's smart and she has all of her shit together and she's buttoned up and she's perfect all the time. Like, I'm so glad she did not describe me in that way. I am so glad that she said she is bubbly, she is charismatic, she's fun, and actually she's really smart. If you really want to have a conversation with her, boom, she's going to pull something out that you never even thought of. I love that about myself, because I feel personally it is so freaking boring to go into a world and feel like you have to present all of your intelligence at the forefront of everything that you do and how smart you are and how much value you add. It is absolutely the telltale sign of insecurity. And I say that with so much love, right? It's like, if we don't fully own and honor our own genius, the X factor that you bring into this world, of course, you're going to try and cover that up with presenting this facade or presenting, some people even will swing in the pendulum and go to like the way goofy side, right? There's a difference between using like your fun and your charisma as a cover up for your insecurity or your lack of understanding and being able to articulate your X factor, versus having the energy of, I add value to every single room that I enter. I know I'm a fucking genius, and therefore I can come across any way that I want, because I don't have to prove to anyone. I know that with the right people, if I have a conversation with you, there's going to be a connection. And if there's not, amazing. Okay, we weren't it. That's all. That's it. Right. And so I remember in that experience being like, I want this to be a thing. I want to be the back pocket genius, where of course my expertise is going to come through, because I know how to carry myself when I need to carry myself. However, I get to be free and have fun in the process and be in play, because I'm confident in the value that I bring. So let's have fun. I remember I was another pivotal experience very early on in my career. I went into an interview, and I remember walking into this beautiful room, the waiting room for this interview. And I walk in, I'm in my little pantsuit. Looks so cute. I thought I was like at the pinnacle. I'm like, I'm wearing a pencil skirt and pointy flats, had the whole thing. And I went in there, and I remember seeing the other candidates, like everyone was interviewing for the same position. And I remember seeing the other candidates, and all of a sudden I got so nervous. I was like, who am I to be here? Like, what am I doing? I'm in this freaking pantsuit. Everyone else, they look better. They probably have more accolades. They probably done more. I started having these like self-doubts come in. And then something dawned on me. I was like, okay, so all of these candidates are in this room interviewing for this position. The people who are interviewing have had to interview all these people. They are probably bored as fuck right now. And of course, some people can give good interviews, right? But I was like, okay, these people who are interviewing me, they don't want a bad interview. They probably, yes, they want to see my leadership, but they also want to have a good time, most likely. So I'm just going to go in there. I'm going to be me. I'm going to play, and I'm going to trust that my expertise and my leadership is going to be shown through that because I believe in myself. I know that I add value to any single room. So let's go have a good time. And I remember it was one of my favorite interviews. They were laughing. I think I at one time pulled up like a Beyonce music video. I don't even remember what the question was, but it was great. And I got the opportunity. And I said, interesting. Right? So, what if your leadership and being magnetic in a room is not about presenting yourself and saying the right thing, but actually bringing your open heart matched with your belief in yourself and your expertise, such that people cannot help but notice you? And it only works when you understand I am someone who adds value to every single room that I enter. I want you to write that down. Use it as a mantra. I add value to every single room that I enter. When you can own that and know that as truth in your body, in your bones, in your cells, it creates all of this space and openness for you to be free to express, which is what people actually want. That's magnetic as fuck. Please don't be boring and say every single thing that everybody else does. Absolutely bring yourself and also believe in yourself. Do not use your magnetism, that sparkly, charismatic, beautiful part of you, as a cover up because you don't actually know your own genius. You're absolutely genius, okay? You just have to get clear on it in order to actually be able to fully own it. So, as I mentioned earlier, I always ask the question, why, right? Of course, I can give you this mantra. I add value to every single room. And you can say, okay, cool, Steph. I'm going to adopt that. It's going to become like every other affirmation you've said. If you don't really have evidence to back it up, does it really stick? For me, it doesn't always stick. Okay. So why do you add value to every single room? Let's break it down. First things first, energetically, right? Purely by being you. Think about it. When you are a human with an open heart and you exist in the world, your capacity to make somebody's day is so incredible. Have you ever walked into a coffee shop and you're having a good day and you hold the door for someone and you look them in the eye and you smile and you can tell you just have that moment and you're like, something shifted there. Or maybe somebody does that for you and you just feel absolutely seen and heard and you're like, oh my God, that just completely uplifted my entire day. That is so powerful. That is value in a room. That even if you were to never do anything or prove anything or say even anything, you still have the ability to do good with the opportunities that are given to you. You still have the ability to add value and to be just this beautiful human being of truth, of honesty. And maybe it's not that, you're always love and sunshine and rainbows. Maybe you do bring, space for people to feel seen and heard in their shit or in their darkness. That's value as well. Just by you existing with an open heart, how you feel called to exist, and having the intention of serving a purpose beyond yourself, that is absolutely powerful. I love to use the mantra personally, universe, give me any opportunity and I will do good with it. I know that is true. Give me any connection, give me any opportunity, any client, any experience, and I will do good with it because I put myself to the side. I say, higher self, take over. Stephanie's not running the show. I don't want my ego to run the show. If my ego does run in the show and I slip up, I check it. Give me any opportunity and I know that I will do good with it. I will do my best to serve people and to speak to their hearts and to love people unconditionally such that whenever they enter my world, they're going to leave a better person. That is always my clearest intention, no matter what the opportunity is. When you can hold that, it completely eradicates this entire worthiness wound around like, oh, am I actually worthy to be able to receive that? Do I really have the credentials to be able to receive that? If you can just do good with every single opportunity and be a human being with an open heart, you have the capacity to change somebody's freaking life. Okay, that is value. So energetically, yes, you add value to every single room that you enter, especially when you have a clear intention and a purpose behind it. Now, tangibly, right, if we want to start to get into the weeds of it a little bit more, how do you actually own, I am a woman who adds value to every single room? Very simply put, add freaking value. Add value. Go in and serve. Use your own genius and your own expertise to be of service to other people. Now, the reality is that any single one of you who's listening to this podcast, you know you're an absolute genius, right? Like check yourself for a second. Do you know you're a genius? Yes, you're a genius. There's something that you do in this world, whether it's in your professional career, whether it's in your business, whether it's a specific thing that you know that you're really good at. There is something about you that is absolutely genius. Yet, if it feels a little bit vague to you, where you're like, I kind of have a good idea of it, but I don't exactly know what that genius is. I couldn't necessarily tell you what it is. I sometimes have a hard time seeing it. It's really easy for that genius to kind of exist in a cloud and say, yeah, I know I'm good at things. But then immediately when you're in a room of leaders and you're in a room of potential opportunities, but you might be a little bit intimidated, it's so easy for that cloud to go poof. You're like, who am I? What do I do? I don't even know, because you don't have words that actually back it, right? So this is where your X factor comes in. And y'all know I've been talking about X factor a whole lot lately. And it is that specific expertise that is based on your past experiences, your learned skills, and your innate gifts that give you a different perspective within your industry, and therefore puts you in a league of your own. So instead of just being another content creator or another mindset coach or another marketing professional or another social media manager, whatever your position might be or your industry might be, you put yourself in a category of your own because you have a specific take within that industry that is so uniquely based on your purpose, your experiences, and your skill set, such that it could not be replicated. I love doing this with clients because I hear so many different X factors and so many different geniuses. And no two people have the exact same genius for the exact same reason. And to me, that is it's mind-blowing. It's why I love getting to do this work, because I have this firm belief that as human beings, we are all like these different little puzzle pieces that actually fit together so beautifully. And if we were all in our own genius and really, really serving our own unique purpose, that the world would actually be designed for harmony. But anyways, I digress. So once you can get clear on that specific X factor, it oozes through everything that you do. It doesn't matter if you're in a room with people you are incredibly comfortable with and you've met a million times before, or if you're in a room that is completely foreign to you. When you know your specific genius, you can apply it to any room that you're in, and talking about your work and what you do becomes absolutely playful because you don't have to prove to anyone. You just know, no matter what opportunity is in front of me, I know there's a specific take that I have that's a little bit different. I add value no matter what. I'm not generic. I'm an expert at what I do, and therefore I can pull out something specific in this situation, add value, and be of service to you or your experience, or I can find somebody who is. And that confidence creates space for so much play, where your creative brain actually gets to come online and creative solutions pop up as you go, because you're not so hyper fixated in this logical part of how you have to present yourself and how you need to say things and how you have to show up in order to prove your expertise. It's this solid backbone that's within you. So instead of presenting this facade, which honestly 99.99999% of people are, you get to go in and be fun and be playful and have a good time and also be in your leadership. So how do you actually implement this energy of I add value into every single room that I go into, so that you can start really networking your brand in every single room that you walk into, just naturally based on the conversations that you're having and the connections that you're making? So first things first, start to actually notice and take note, even as you're listening to this, like write down, how do you naturally already add value to the rooms that you enter? It might be a specific skill set that you have. It might be a way of seeing things. It might be an energy that you bring that so many people have complimented you on. They're like, oh my God, every single time I'm around you, I just feel better. You just have this way of making me feel X, Y, and Z. Maybe there's something that you do incredibly well? What is the way that you add value to the rooms that you enter? Do you love empowering people and seeing them rise? Start to notice that, because I guarantee there are gazillions of them. The second piece is to also go out into the world and notice how you can make someone's day so simply. As I said before, sometimes it's as easy as just opening your heart. Doesn't mean you have to be in a good mood every single day, but having an open heart and being present with people and looking somebody in the eye and taking a moment to actually see them. As human beings, we're just starved for connection, and you can make somebody's day so simply. That starts to build this belief of, no matter where I go, I add value. No matter where I go, I bring some sort of a gift, not because I need to or because I need to show off to do it. It's just because it feels good and it's just fun to exist in that way. And the third piece is really start to hone in on, what is that specific X factor? So even beyond just how do you add value very generally, when you can hone in on that specific perspective that you bring to your industry, that edge based on your past experiences, your learned skills, and your innate gifts, it makes networking so fun, because you know that you have something to own. You know that you have something different that is not just generic and fluffy and what everybody else is saying. You have something that is so specific and unique to you. You become a trendsetter where people are like, oh, I've never thought about it in that way, or I've never actually heard that before. That's a really awesome take. Okay, interesting. There's something here. I love your energy. I don't know what it is about you, but I think we need to work together. Those sort of responses. That comes when you have something different, not just regurgitating the same information over and over, and you do. The coolest thing is that all of this is already in you. All it is now is pulling it out to really allow yourself to see it so that you can own it and really see yourself as somebody who adds value to every single freaking room that you enter. And if you are someone where you know that you have so much to offer, you have an incredible skill set, and you want to take your business and your brand to the next level, to really be able to articulate your X factor so that you can walk into any room and know exactly what it is that you bring, the value that you add, and the specific take that you have within your industry, so you can stand out and create those magnetic connections. I am opening up a couple of spots for X Factor analysis sessions, and those are going to be absolutely beautiful for you. They're a fabulous starting point, especially if you've been curious on what it's like to work together, or if you're a returning client who you're like, I just want a little tune up. It's 90 minutes one-on-one. You and I, we go deep, we have fun, and they are truly pivotal, especially if you want to have that presence where it's like, who is that? You have to have an X factor. I'm gonna say it point blank. And these have been so freaking fun. I recently had a client come in as a content creator and a social media manager and a copywriter. She did all these different things. And she's like, Steph, I know that I'm really incredible at what I do, but for some reason I'm playing it small. I'm not charging the rates that I want to charge. I know that there's, a more specific take on all of this, but I can't quite get it out. I don't quite know what it is. And so through our entire session, we went through her mission, her vision, her specific genius based on her past experiences to weave it into what is her thing within that specific industry. And now she's signed clients at a higher rate. She has the foundation for her brand that's aligned with her purpose, and it's just off to the moon. So if that sounds fun to you, the link will be in the show notes and you can check it out there. These sold out last month. I'm excited to do them again. They've been so freaking fun and such a blast. So I'm letting you guys know first on the podcast, and then they'll go live on my Instagram. So I love you all. I hope that you have gotten something incredibly beneficial and valuable out of this entire podcast. And if you have, let me know. Send me a little note on Instagram at Stephanie Elsperman. I love seeing your reflections and hearing them. It means the world to me, and I just love continuing the conversation with you. So with that said, I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day. Mwah! I'll see you on the next episode.